I live in a neighborhood where a lot of DuPont employees work and upper management people. About 5 years ago, when one of the high-ranking DuPonters lost their job, he came off, I was cutting my lawn, and walked over and said, "You know, I gave you a lot of heat for all the time you tried to protect the auto workers in this state. All of a sudden realized I need protection." So folks, we got a shot. We got a shot. And let me say why it's so important. It's not just about you. It's not just about you. If we're going to grow the middle class, there is no way to grow it. There is no way to grow it without growing the union movement. Not stopping the slide. There's no way to do it without growing the union movement in America. Let me give you a few boring but critical statistics. If, in fact, you take a look from 1947 to 1972, when you represented 1 in 4 workers in America, all of America grew. All of America grew from 1947 to 72. Those in the top 1 percentile grew about 72%. Those in the middle percentile, which are now middle-income workers, they grew over 100%. Over 100%. Everybody grew, and the middle class grew. And then what happened? A couple court decisions, changing the NLRB, rulings about making it tougher for you to organize. The assault on labor began. Business became more aggressive. The world changed. We're all trying to adapt to the so-called flat world, and we got caught flat-footed. And what happened? From 1972 to 2000, you dropped from 1 in 4 Americans being a member of a union to 1 in 10. What happened in the meantime? Every single year, the earning power of the middle class dropped. The middle class in America now has a much smaller percentage of the economic pie than they had any time from 47 to 72. We're worse off than we were then. And that's in spite of the fact that during that same period, what did you do? You increased productivity in America by 80%. And what was the bargain we made back in the 30s? If American workers increased productivity and increased profit, they were to get a piece of it. That was the deal. You were to get a piece of it. In spite of the fact the economy grew in productivity by 80%, middle-class wage earners' earnings dropped below what they were in 1972. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got a simple message for American business that I'm not opposed to. I got a simple message. For their own safety's sake, for their own economic viability in this new world we live in, they better damn well understand that we in labor are going to draw a line in the sand accumulating around our past achievements and say, we have had enough. No more. No more. No more. We're going to reestablish the basic deal, which was that profits don't translate into a better life for most Americans unless those who cause the profits to increase share in the benefits of those profits. Things are going to have to change. Ladies and gentlemen, as President of the United States, I will institute several things, and I am not fooling those of you who know me. First, I will use the word union to make it a household name. Why? What is the value of the presidency? The presidency's greatest strength is it as a bully pulpit. We need a president who will point out to average people, to white-collar workers, the value to them of the union movement. We have to make it clear to them, and no one can do it but the president, that in fact, the nation grows and benefits in direct proportion to the growth and benefits that unions participate in. And I mean, you've got to talk about it. You've got to say it. And I will make sure, as President of the United States, that not only do you get 51 votes in the Senate, but there will be a card check legislation. If you can walk in, think about this. Think about this, just in average terms. You're not union members, take your union hat off. Just an average American out there, don't belong to any organization. If you can walk in, take out your driver's license, show where you live, sign a card with merely your signature to determine who the next president of the United States is going to be and walk into a voting booth, why in the heck can you not walk in, sign a card, say, I want a union, and that be the end of it? The second thing I will do is I will bring business and labor together to build a new white and blue collar coalition to build American labor, because the world in the 21st century is going to be different than the one we participated in the 20th. And we're going to have as new a notion and new an alliance as we had in 1932. The third thing I will do, I will change our trade laws to benefit American workers, not to penalize American workers. And fourthly, I'll do something you won't think so important, but maybe the most important thing I can do for the middle class and labor. And that is, I will appoint federal judges and justices who understand the social compact. And I will make sure the NLRB is represented by people who understand what the L in NLRB stands for. Folks, I'll also aggressively invest in research. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a little statistic. Do you realize we are spending less money on research and development of energy alternatives today than we did 30 years ago? Let me say that to you again. 30 years ago, we spent more money investing in research and development of energy alternatives than we do today. What does that tell you? Do you think maybe the only word that Cheney and Bush can enunciate, they can't say union, but they can sure say oil, 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 oil? Well, folks, if I have my way, I'm going to begin to trend where the word oil becomes a word of the past in the next 30 years. Because ladies and gentlemen, our survival depends on that. But guess what? Millions and millions and millions of new jobs depend on that. Imagine what I can do, what the next president can do with a significant investment like the Apollo program in energy and renewable energy sources and alternatives. Imagine what you could do if we just developed clean coal technology, selling it to the Chinese who are building one new coal-fired plant a month. That if they continue unabated burning that dirty coal, literally, my state of Delaware, if it's projected that we will raise the temperature 3 to 5 degrees in 40 years, my state of Delaware will be underwater because, not a joke, because the sea level will raise over 3 feet. Parts of my state will be literally underwater.